Hello, and welcome to Community Conversations. Today we're going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to share with you an interview I recorded a little over a week ago, which was preempted by current events. But I want to share it with you as part of our Arts in a Digital Setting and Drag in a Digital Setting interview. And I talked to drag king performer Jai Cruz, and so we're going to share that with you today. Also, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to find and read the Louisville Metro Government Budget. We're going to talk more about the budget process and talk to people about defunding the police and some of these proposals that are going around. But I think what would be helpful right now is if people can just know how to find the Metro budget, how to read it, how to look at it. And we'll share a few things like that. And then we'll get deeper into some of those topics as the weeks go by. So that's going to be our program for today. And then we'll be back next Tuesday and Thursday with more. So thank you for joining us for Community Conversations. And I want to thank Republic Bank, Norton Healthcare, Evo Mortgage, the ACLU, Caperton Realty, and Connolly Law Offices for making Digital Pride possible. Welcome back with Community Conversations. We are continuing to look at drag in a digital world, and we're talking with a drag king today, the illustrious Jai Cruz. So thank you for joining me, Jai. I can't talk today.
It's okay.
So can you tell me a little bit about Jai Cruz? I just
Jai
got
Cruz.
as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh, it's like J. Crew.
Yeah. I didn't
As
know
I say
that
it
when
out loud.
when I created the name like 15 million years ago. I didn't realize it was a clothing company too, but it's Cruise, not Crew. But yeah, a lot of people ask me if I have those kind of clothing, and I was like, no. I'm bougie on a budget. No.
Yeah.
I've
So
been doing
when
drag.
Yeah. Oh, when did
What?
J. Cruz come into being?
Oh Lord. It came into being about 15 years ago on a dare, actually.
Really?
It was for like a little talent show at, as we discussed, the name drop, Some She's. And I actually was like, I'll try it. And I won, and I got hooked ever since.
Wow, congratulations. Yeah. Some She's, of course, was the coffee shop that was around, so like what, 2003, 2004? It was open for a
Yeah.
little while. But yeah, so I guess it led you down a path of I can't even think of where to go with that.
Rabbit
led
hole.
you down, yes, led you down a rabbit hole. So, and you've been performing ever since.
Yes. I've been performing on and off for a while, but that's why a lot of people haven't heard of me a lot recently, is because I actually dropped off the radar. I just needed to get back to focus, get back where I was at mentally, and come back even stronger. And now I'm back.
So tell us some of the places that you've performed over the years, and in Louisville or outside of Louisville.
Yes. So I've performed in, I've performed in New York, and that was really, really fun. I've performed in Lexington. We actually just performed in Lexington earlier this year. I'm actually with a performing group called the Unsupervised Adults. We're a troupe, and we're definitely a troupe. We call ourselves like little misfits. But unfortunately right now, because we're not performing, but that doesn't mean we're still not promoting and stuff like that. But Lexington, Louisville, oh God, now I'm drawing a blank. But I know definitely New York was, I have to be the greatest so far, because they haven't heard of a drag king. And I was like, oh, well, ta-da.
Yeah. So is there anywhere in normal times, I mean, obviously we're in the time of now more than ever, but in normal times, are there any places where drag kings are performing in Louisville?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. A big one is Play Louisville.
Okay.
On Thursday nights. It is it's called Ladies Night. Unfortunately right now, not so much, but it's called Ladies Night. They are more driven for drag kings and divas, some queens, some males, male performers. But when it was originally made, because back in the day, I was there when play opened for Ladies Night. That was the driving force, was for Kings and Divas, to get more of a mix out there, to kind of rep and let people know that we are here, and we all definitely have a talent. And there's a lot of drag kings out there, like TB Sparrow, Rocky, a man named Murphy. Oh gosh, Tyler Tite. Well, he's a male lead, but he is awesome. There's just tons of great drag kings out there that unfortunately, sometimes get looked over, but we're here definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've been out to the bars, back in the Sumshi days. So, back
Yes.
then there was no, if a bar had drag queens, it did not have drag kings, at least that was my
Yeah.
recollection. And I don't recollect much from those days. But now things are a little more mixed. I think we have relaxed some of our ideas about, strict rules about who can be a queen or a king or things like that.
Oh yeah.
What's it like? But still, certainly the focus and the majority of probably the money and everything is on drag queens. So, what's it like to be a king in a queen's world?
Definitely. Being a king in a queen's world, I love my queens. Queens are most definitely awesome. I have tons of drag queen friends, uh, you know, and it is hard. It is hard being a drag king. Now, it changed. It's changing. We are changing the roles of, we're coming up, because with a lot of queens, it's flashier costumes and, dancing and stuff like that. And drag kings, we're actually, you have to go with the times, and you have to change constantly. And drag in general, because drag 20 years ago is not the drag now. And so we're definitely moving up. But it is hard, because, with the queen, I mean, they could do a lot more than drag kings can do, and especially male, because males can show a lot, and not so much drag kings. We're all not built for that. So, but I think drag queens, they they do get a lot of notoriety, and if they work for it, yeah, definitely. I give them I'll give them all my money, for sure. Uh, but we're just hanging in there, and it's hard. But me personally, I don't let that stop me,
You
because
find
that might be. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to ask if you found that the audience for drag shows, is there a lot of crossover, or is the audience for drag kings totally different than the audience for drag queens?
Uh, at pageants that I've definitely seen, um, drag queens have been around a lot longer than kings. So I think that plays into it, is we're still new, we're still up and coming, and we're still making our way and showing people that we can give you a show just like a queen can. We can blow your mind, and we can give you an actual performance. We can entertain you. I tell people I'm a performer, but I'm actually an entertainer, because I want you to be entertained. Your eyes are not going to be all focused off of me. I'm going to make sure you see me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of blown away by the performances we had in the virtual drag show, yourself included. I was really very impressed with all of those. So, tell me a little bit about what sort of performing you're doing during COVID right now, or if you're able to do anything.
Yeah, so I've done the Lexington one. Not Lexington, I'm sorry, Louisville. We were talking about Lexington. We've done the Louisville one, which was awesome. Did the Nashville one, which I was super stoked about, that I was asked to do. I'm doing one tonight actually on Instagram. So that's a different venue for me. My wife and I actually are both doing the Instagram one. And so, during this time, I see it as an opportunity. I see everything as an opportunity. If something happens, you can't change it. So you have to go with it. Why fight it? Why get upset? You just go with it. And I see this as a reflection. You have to step back and look at your craft and be like, how can I make this better? And what can I do to, how can I make myself better? And so I'm able to look at my costumes, clean my costumes like a lot of drag performers have not been. I've seen a lot of costumes where you're like, wow, yeah.
Dry cleaners
But
are our friends.
yes. But, cleaning them, stoning them, learning new songs, this was horrible because a lot of people required on this for a job. A lot of people see this, a lot of people actually, this is their full-time job, is drag is their full-time job. And my heart still goes out to them because without that they don't have that income. And so those shows are made for them, most definitely. But I see that as step back, clean everything, stone, I've stoned shoes. My Amazon person knows me. So, I think that's everybody right now. But yeah, I've got new costumes and I cannot wait to show everybody. But, I'm up for anything when it comes to, performing live. It's definitely different because I'm used to interacting with people. I'm interacting to a phone or to a laptop. So you don't hear that, that yay or the silence, and you're kind of like, but you just kind of go with it. You pray to God and people like it.
So how important is performing for you, emotionally and as part of your mental health? Is that something that, are you like suffering because you can't, you're able to perform, but only privately, essentially? What's that like?
Yeah. So, a little bit about me. I actually suffer from severe depression and severe anxiety. I am on meds. And, for the longest time, I thought that was a, horrible thing to be on, and you don't talk about mental illness and stuff like that. And my wife has definitely been a supporter of me to tell people, my struggle, and tell people, it's okay, to have this. And drag, it takes you out of your mind. It gives you a break. Because constantly, I do have a full-time job, and I'm constantly talking and thinking all day long, and that gave me a break. Thank God that I was able to build my own gym, actually outside, so that helps. But drag, I can be somebody else for a little bit. I don't have to be me in my regular life, I can be somebody else, and I can play a different character. And it doesn't have to be the same character every time. I can be funny on this performance. I can be, thoughtful. I can be dramatic, and it's definitely, I miss it. And it helps doing the digital, but being live, I don't know. If you've ever seen me, perform live, I'm really, really hyper. And so I have all this energy because I just love looking at people. I love seeing people's faces, and I love the interaction, and people are dancing. And of course that rubs off on me. And of course that releases endorphins. When you're having a good time, I'm having a good time. And so it's playing a little bit of a mind game with me, but I keep thinking that it's one day I can be back on a stage or be back in front of crowds and just entertain the crap out of them. And, it's going to be great again. That's what's getting me through this. And I for sure miss it. Oh, I miss it so much. But, we have to be safe, and we have to be healthy. And, just like the governor says, we have to get through this, and we have to get through it together.
Yeah, definitely. And I've done some performances myself as well. And it's like, you just get out of your head, you get into a different sort of space and energy. And it's something that is hard to replicate. And, when you don't have it, you miss it. And even if, it's not something you're doing every day, but it helps kind of keep you in balance.
Yeah. It gives you a break.
Now you mentioned your wife, and she's a performer as well. I don't know if we can
Correct. Yes,
talk
sir.
about her. I don't know if that's allowed or not. She might come in and shut us down.
No, no, no. She's perfectly fine. She's actually upstairs. We're both working from home right now, so
Well, we won't tell your boss that you're on this. And she's a
I'm on
diva.
lunch.
You're on lunch, yes.
I'm on lunch.
Well,
Yes.
they don't know when it was recorded.
No.
So she's a diva. What exactly is a diva?
A diva is a female, like a bio. So you have drag kings, which are females that dress up as males and perform, and then divas are women that have more costumes. They're still females, but they wear like the heavier makeup, flashier costumes, sometimes less clothes. Almost like burlesque. And it just brings a different element to being a female. And
So
I've seen costumes where you're just like, huh?
so it's a little bit like the male entertainers in the drag world.
Yeah.
Right. So you have, with drag, you have drag queens, and then you have male entertainers that are cisgender men, typically cisgender men performing as men, but almost sort of a stylized or very sexy sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you all perform together?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we perform together in the group. Her name is Lady Heather Cruz. And we've been performing, I've been performing for about 15 years, and she's been doing it for she's yelling at me. Oh, 9.
It's like I got a couple other things to correct too. So 11 years. So did you get her into it, or did you all meet out on the circuit
we met on the circuit, actually. It's a long story.
We probably don't have time for the whole story.
Oh no. It's a very, very long story.
We might
but
lose our G rating.
Right. No, but we met the first day. Funny story. The first moment I ever met her, and I'll tell people this, all day. I had a girlfriend. She had a girlfriend. But the first time I saw her, I looked at my friend. I said, "That's the woman I'm going to marry."
Wow.
And ta-da!
Wow.
We've been together for 2000. We've been.
I'm sure she can yell it out.
How long have we been together? 10 years. We've been together for 10 years.
10 years. Wow. Congratulations. And you all have your chickens and, everything.
We got
right?
chickens, dogs, cats. So, yeah, we got a little farm life. When I took a break, actually, from drag, we decided to try and start a chicken farm. So, hashtag redneck lesbian. So yeah, we got about 30 chickens. So if you ever need farm fresh eggs, free range, let me know.
And this is what people are worried about. You never know when your neighbor might be a secret redneck lesbian drag king performer. It's like that's the America we're living in.
Yes, and surprisingly, like everybody here where we live at, you would think, oh my God, that's so redneck, but everybody knows that we're gay, and they're awesome with it. They're like, you guys are my favorite people, and I'm like, I love that the world is changing one person at a time.
It really is. I mean, and you all, I won't say where you live. Yeah, I don't want to get to, but you're outside the Watterson Expressway. And I feel like some of us, there's an element in our culture here that just feels like, oh wait, I thought everyone LGBT lives in the Highlands. We're all in one area. And it's like, no, people come in all shapes and all sizes and all neighborhoods, and, and they can be happy in all of those neighborhoods.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were so happy I bought a house.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think we can go on and on. Now that we're on to chickens and everything, there's no good stopping point. So thank you for joining me for this conversation. And is there anything else that you want to share before we leave today?
Well, with the viewers and everything, definitely during this time of COVID, some people can get out, some people can't. for mental health, most definitely talk to somebody. I don't care if it's a rock. I don't care if it's a ladder. It does not matter. Please, please, please talk to somebody. If you're feeling down, depressed, whatever, you don't have to talk to me. I am not licensed by any means. But if you think I'm pretty chill, pretty cool, please reach out to me. I think it is definitely important. I think people need to really start talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely taking a toll on a lot of people. And I see, I'm not usually a person who gets too affected by that, but I'm definitely experiencing it myself. And, and a lot of it's just recognizing that's what it is and reaching out to people and talking and doing things, being active. So, thank you for being honest and open with us about that. That's very brave and very appreciative. And I think people will, can identify with that. And thank you for everything you do, entertaining and performing for us. And I look forward to seeing you on a real stage sooner rather than later.
Right.
Well, you take care, and you can let your wife know that we're done.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to our no more than 5-minute Metro Budget 101 video. This is really just going to show you how to find the Metro Government website, Louisville Metro Government Budget on the website, and how to dive into it a little bit to read it. So as you hear people talking about defunding the police and you're trying to make up your mind about whether that's a good idea or not, you can look directly into the budget. So we're at the management and budget website for louisvilleky.gov. And if you want to get this, you look at government and you look at city budget, but we're already there. And this page is showing us the FY21 budget. That's the budget that's recommended for the coming year. The Metro fiscal year starts July 1st and it runs through June 30th. So July 1st, we will be in fiscal year 2021, and we'll have a budget that's going to run for the year. You can see the recommended budgets. You can also see the approved budgets for past years. Now, you're always going to have an executive budget and a detail budget. I think the executive budget is the more helpful one. Now, this is recommended by the mayor sometime in April, and then it's debated and it's reviewed, and the departments weigh in, the council weighs in, and ultimately they'll pass it in June to take effect in July. And then they'll start working on the next year's budget almost immediately. It's really a full year cycle where they take, all of the cost projections and try to figure out what they're going to do next year. So this is it. This is the budget. It's 223 pages, the recommended budget, and then there'll be a revised one once the council gets in here and makes changes. But you can look through. It's got, I'm just going to scroll through here, and you've got a organizational chart for the city. You've got, we get a budget award, the Citizens Bill of Rights, the Metro Government Fisher Administration team values, and then you have some history and information about the city. This is important for bondholders and people like that. And you get down then to an explanation of the budget process. If you want to see about that, it's all in there. And then you get to budget background. This year we're talking about COVID. It's going to make a huge impact. So all the details, all that information that kind of goes into the budget is in here. You can just download this and you can read it. And then eventually you get explanations about the fund structures and where all the money comes from. There's a lot of information in here. And most of it's pretty accessible. Here is on page 30 an explanation of Metro revenues. This is how much comes in. Total available revenue is estimated at $651 million. That's how much Metro is expecting to get next year. And here it is in a nutshell. Here is kind of the revenue estimates and receipts for the city. I'm going to just kind of scroll through this. Here's the sources. Most of it's occupational taxes. A quarter of it is property taxes, and there's a lot of different little funds. So when people get laid off, it makes a big hit to the Metro budget. And then we get into the debt. There's a lot of information on debt. There's a capital budget that's done separately, And the capital budget, Metro will borrow millions, tens of millions of dollars for big projects and then pay it off over the course of 30 years. And there's information about every single one of those bonds in here. And now we get to expenditures by category. So this is where we're spending the money. Half of it gets spent on public safety. And then we go into the appropriations, and we have each department. The mayor's office gets $2 million. Metro Council gets $8 million. The Criminal Justice Commission gets $4 million. The police get $190 million. And Public Services gets $273 million, and that includes fire and fleet and facilities. Parks and Recreation gets $25 million, which is 0.3% of the budget. It's all right here. And as you go down further, you get into each individual department eventually. Here we go. So we got the mayor's office, and it tells us a little bit about the mayor's office, and then it tells us what the money's going to be spent on in a very, very general way. Personnel services, contractual services, supplies, equipment, capital outlay. Scrolling down to the Metro Police Department, again, we see a description of the police, and we see their budget. The mayor's recommended budget is $190 million. That's $178 million from the general fund, our tax dollars. $1.7 million in agency receipts. That's money that people pay to the police in fines or tickets or things like that. $2.7 million in federal grants and $7 million in state grants. $178 million of that, the vast majority, is personnel services, salaries, benefits, pensions. $8 million is contracts, $2 million is supplies, $1.2 million is equipment, and 32, and then there's other smaller things in here. And then we've got it divided, again, the same number divided by the administration is $40 million, the Patrol Bureau is $88 million, and the Support Operations Bureau is $62 million. And we'd have to look up here probably to see what those are. The budget's then going to tell us every position in the Metro Police Department. And then we go on to the next one. So it's not a whole lot of information, but it does kind of give you just a little bit of the ideas there. And that's just a really quick, I went a little over 5 minutes, but that's the summary of how you find the budget. And if you want to look through there and make your own decisions, that's where it is.